The world is talking about this operation. While no one could find the American military cargo plane that had been missing for 48 hours, why did Ibrahim Traore personally go into the Sahara Desert? What secret methods did he use in a search operation that even the Pentagon had given up on? What is the real truth behind this operation that brought back a 6-person crew from the brink of death? This video must be watched to the end because the details you'll learn will astound you. How was a miracle created with traditional knowledge where modern technology failed? July 27, 2024, 2:30 p.m. lbrahim Traore was in a routine security briefing at the Burkina Faso Presidential Palace. At that moment, no one knew that the drama about to unfold in the depths of the Sahara Desert would instantly elevate the young leader's international prestige to the summit. At 4:45 p.m., an urgent call came. The caller was General Michael Harrison from USAF. His voice was anxious. President Traore, we urgently need to request your help. Our C-130 cargo aircraft has gone missing near the Mali border. There's a 6-person crew on board. Traore could feel the tension on the other end of the phone. General Harrison, how long have you been unable to make contact? He asked in a calm voice. The answer revealed the seriousness of the situation. We haven't been able to make any contact for 48 hours. No GPS signal, no response on emergency frequencies. At this point, normal procedure would be to leave the search and rescue operation to international teams. However, Traore had a very different plan in mind. As a leader born and raised in the Sahara Desert, he knew the secrets of these lands. More importantly, he believed in the power of the human approach. Where technology had failed, General, send us the exact coordinates and the aircraft's last known route. I will personally coordinate the search operation, said True. The silence on the other end of the phone reflected the American general's astonishment. He wasn't expecting such an offer from Africa's young leader. After hanging up, Traore urgently called Chief of General Staff, Colonel Omaru Sankara. Colonel, immediately prepare our search and rescue team. I will personally participate in the operation. Sankara's attempt to object was silenced with a look. Determination in Traore's eyes left no room for discussion. That night, extraordinary activity began at the military base in Ouagadougou. Helicopters were refueling, specially trained search and rescue teams were preparing, and most importantly, local guides were gathering at the base. Traore's strategy was a hybrid operation that would blend modern technology with traditional desert knowledge. In the early hours of the morning, Traore's convoy set out. It included 3 helicopters, 12 vehicles, and a special team of 45 people. However, their most valuable asset was 67-year-old Aki Ag al-Habib, the region's most experienced Tuareg guide. Aki had been living in the Sahara for 50 years and knew every inch of the desert. The first stop was Ten Akov, the village closest to where the aircraft was last seen. Village Chief Amadou Dou was surprised to see Traore. Mr. President, what are you personally doing here? Traore's answer summarized his leadership philosophy. Amadou, our guests are lost in our lands. I won't leave here until we find them. At the meeting held in the village, striking information emerged. Shepherd Ahmed said he had heard strange sounds from the west 2 nights ago. It was a metallic sound. Then came a loud crash. But that area is very dangerous. Sandstorms are constant. Traore leaned over the maps. He was comparing modern GPS coordinates with the information provided by the villagers. One detail caught his attention. The official search area was to the east, but the sounds reported by the villagers came from the west. This meant either the aircraft had changed its route or had been swept by the wind. Asterisk. That night, at the camp established in the area, Traore held a strategic meeting with his team. Asterisk. Friends, the big search teams are looking to the east. Well, head west. We trust Uncle Aki's knowledge. The 67-year-old guide began drawing the desert map in his head. Mr. President, there are 3 hidden valleys in that area. The plane might have crashed in one of them. Asterisk. The operation began at 5 o'clock. A.M. Traore's helicopter was flying toward the coordinates Aki had indicated. Below them stretched an endless sea of sand. The sun had not yet risen. Thermal cameras were active. Radio frequencies were constantly scanned. Asterisk at 7:30 a.m. Asterisk that area, but it was just an old camp relic. Hopes were dashed, but Traore didn't give up. Asterisk, we continue. They are somewhere, waiting for us to come. Asterisk at noon, the situation became critical. The temperature had reached 48, the wind had picked up. Arkley warned Asterisk, Mr. President, a sandstorm is coming. Very dangerous. Asterisk, under normal circumstances, the operation would be stopped and withdrawn to a safe area. But Traore knew that every hour was critical for the missing pilots. When the storm began, the helicopter was forced to land. Visibility had dropped to 10 meters. The team had to wait in a temporary camp asterisk during this time. Traore began chatting with Aki. The old guide was telling stories of survival in the desert. Asterisk, Mr. President. The desert kills but also protects. There are secret places, water sources. When the storm subsided, Arkley made an unexpected suggestion. Mr. President, there's a place. According to what our grandfather said, metal birds fall there. A place called Wadi al-Kadam. Asterisk, no one had heard this valley's name. It wasn't on the maps. But the light in Aki's eyes convinced Traore. Asterisk, the helicopter moved toward the coordinates Aki had described. At 3:45 p.m., pilot Songo excitedly shouted, Asterisk, Mr. President, there's a metallic object below. This time it's real. Asterisk, when the helicopter descended, it became visible. The C-130 cargo plane lying at the bottom of the valley, with its left wing broken. Asterisk, when they landed, the first sight they encountered was hopeful. Emergency signals had been set up around the aircraft. The crew was alive. Pilot Major Robert Mitchell couldn't believe it when he saw Traore. Asterisk, Sir, you are the president of Burkina Faso. How did you find us? Traore answered in English, Major Mitchell, we never leave anyone behind in our land. Asterisk, those words would later be much discussed in international media. Asterisk, the crew's condition was checked. 2 lightly injured, 1 case of dehydration, but all were in stable condition. The rescue operation was a delicate process. The aircraft was in a narrow part of the valley. The large helicopter couldn't land. Asterisk, Traore made an alternative plan with his team. The injured would first be transported ... asterisk ... by small helicopter. Then necessary equipment and personnel would be evacuated from the valley. Asterisk, interesting details emerged during the operation. Pilot Mitchell said, Asterisk, Sir, our GPS failed, radio was damaged, but we followed a water source and found this valley. Arley smiled, Mr. President, I told you the desert protects those who know it. Asterisk, in the evening hours, all crew members safely returned to Ouagadougou. As Ambassador Disha Crawford, who was waiting at the airport, greeted TROU. Asterisk, Mr. President. I don't have words to express our gratitude. This operation will be remembered in history. Asterisk, the next day at the press conference, world media flocked to Ouagadougou to learn the details of the operation. CNN, BBC. France 24. Everyone featured this miraculous rescue operation in their headlines. Traore modestly shared the success. With his team, this success is a perfect combination of modern technology and traditional knowledge. The thank you message from the Pentagon revealed the importance of the operation. Under the leadership and courage of Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traore, the lives of 6 American soldiers have been saved. This is the finest example of international cooperation. The economic dimension of the operation was also noteworthy. As a gesture of thanks, the U.S. announced a $50 million education and health aid package to Burkina Faso. More importantly, Traore's prestige among African leaders soared to the summit. Arkley AAG. Al-Habib was awarded a state medal by Traore after the operation. The old guide said at the ceremony, Mr. President, the desert shared its secrets with those who know. This is the spirit of our ancestors. The operation's impact on social media was huge. The #TROE acute hero hashtag became #1 in world trends. An African leader accomplishing what the great powers couldn't made the continents. Young generation proud. When military experts analyzed the operation tactically, they were surprised. Traore's strategy had centered local knowledge instead of relying solely on technology. This approach opened a new page in modern search and rescue doctrines. American crew members praised Traore's leadership in statements to the media after returning to their country. Pilot Mitchell said, he didn't just send a rescue team, he personally led the operation. That's true leadership. The diplomatic impact of the operation continued for a long time. When Trudeau was elected as the rotating chairman of the African Union, this operation was cited as a reference. It was remembered as the finest example of crisis leadership. Today, 1 year after the operation, a monument was erected at Wadi al-Khadim. The monument ... reads in French, English, and Tuareg languages, where humanity, courage, and knowledge meet. Traore's vision, demonstrated through this operation, was not just a rescue story but a manifesto of Africa's new generation leadership. This operation proved to the world, true leadership is not sitting at a desk but being in the field. Technology is powerful, but when combined with local knowledge and human values, it can create miracles. Ibrahim Traore's operation in the Sahara not only saved 6 lives but also showed how a leader should be. But the story doesn't end here. The day after the operation, a classified report from the Pentagon would shock Traore. The report stated that the real mission of the missing aircraft was not ordinary cargo transport. The aircraft contained special intelligence equipment developed against terrorist organizations in Africa. General Harrison called on a secure line, his voice different. President Traore, we need to meet urgently. There are classified aspects of this operation that require immediate discussion. This call was about to reveal the true dimensions of the operation. The secret meeting was held in the most secure room of the presidential palace. American intelligence specialist agent Sarah Mitchell, it would later be understood that sharing the same surname with the pilot was no coincidence, shared shocking information with Traore. Sir, that aircraft was carrying next-generation counter-terrorism equipment worth $200 million. While Traore was trying to digest this information, Agent Mitchell shared even more striking details. Mr. President, our satellite data shows that terrorist groups were actively tracking this aircraft. They knew its route, they knew its cargo. This showed that the operation might not have been just an accident, but a potential sabotage attempt. That night, a new file appeared on Traore's desk. This report from the CIA analyzed the sudden increase in intelligence capabilities that terrorist organizations in the Sahel region had achieved in the last 6 months. The numbers were frightening. Attack efficiency had increased by 300%. Coordination capabilities had doubled. As Traore read the file, a terrifying question came to mind. What if this aircraft was really shot down? What if, by rescuing the crew, he had not only saved lives but also prevented critical technologies from falling into the wrong hands? The next morning, Akli A.J. Al-Habib came to the palace with an unexpected visit. The old guide's face was worried. Mr. President, there were strange men in the village. They came after the plane crashed, asking questions. This information confirmed Traore's concerns. At the urgently convened security meeting, Intelligence Chief Colonel Dramano Drago presented a surprising analysis. Mr. President, the valley where the aircraft crashed is not coincidental. That area is a location hidden from satellite images. If we hadn't found it, it might never have been found. A lightning thought struck Traore's mind. Could this operation have accidentally prevented a major terrorist plan? If America's most advanced counterterrorism equipment had fallen into the hands of terrorist organizations, it could have plunged the entire region into chaos. Meanwhile, a new report from the Pentagon once again revealed the seriousness of the situation. Among the equipment on the aircraft was special software that could break the communication codes of terrorist organizations. If this technology had fallen into the wrong hands, all security operations in the region could have been jeopardized. Agent Mitchell requested a private meeting with Traore. In this meeting, she shared bombshell information. Mr. President, our intelligence suggests that there was a mole in our operation. Someone leaked the flight path to hostile groups. This meant there was a traitor inside. Traore was sweating as he received this information. If there really was a leak and the plane was sabotaged, then the rescue operation might have saved not just 6 lives but possibly thousands of innocent people. The damage that terrorist organizations could have done with these technologies was horrifying to even imagine. That night, another file arrived on Traore's desk, this time from French intelligence. The report stated that terrorist organizations in the Sahel region had experienced a mysterious technological leap in recent months. Their attacks were more precise, escape plans more perfect, communications more secure. CIA analyst James Cooper gave even more surprising information to Traore via video conference. Mr. President, our preliminary investigation shows that terrorist groups had detailed maps of the crash site. They were preparing a recovery operation. So, terrorist organizations were planning their own rescue operations to seize the technologies. This information elevated the historical importance of Traore's operation to a completely different dimension. Now, this was not just a humanitarian rescue, but a critical prevention operation in terms of international security. If terrorists had reached those technologies, the consequences could have been catastrophic. French Defense Minister Florence Parly called urgently to congratulate him. President, Mr. President, you saved not only 6 lives but perhaps thousands. Those words summarize the true dimensions of the operation. The official thank you letter from the U.S. State Department emphasized the strategic importance of the operation. President Traore's swift action prevented what could have been a catastrophic security breach in the Sahel region. The Pentagon classified the operation as a strategic rescue. However, the most surprising development emerged when the communications between terrorist organizations were decrypted. In the messages decoded by the NSA, it was understood that the organizations were actively searching for the aircraft and reached the area only 6 hours after Traore's operation. This meant that Traore's quick decision and effective operation had beaten the terrorists by just 6 hours. If they had waited one more day, the results could have been horrible. CIA Director Bill Burns described this situation as miraculous timing. The behind-the-scenes story of the operation created a major resonance in international media. The Washington Post's headline read, African leaders' desert rescue prevented terror catastrophe. BBC covered the operation with the title, The Operation That Changed Everything. The additional information provided by Ukli Ag al-Habib was also very important. The old guide said, Mr. President, they heard foreign helicopter sounds in the area those nights. This confirmed that terrorist organizations were really conducting active searches. Traore's operation had literally won a race. Russian intelligence services also sent analysis about the operation. In their reports, they stated that terrorist organizations in the Sahel region were seeking the latest technology, and this aircraft offered exactly the opportunity they were looking for. The message from Moscow was clear. President Traore saved the region from chaos. The analysis from Chinese intelligence services was even more striking. In the report from Beijing, it was stated that if these technologies had fallen into the hands of terrorist organizations, Chinese investments in Africa would have been in danger. The operation had also indirectly